Hello everyone, welcome to Lukmaan IAS. Today we are going to have the Hindu newspaper analysis dated 11th of October 2023. In today's newspaper analysis, we are going to cover a mapping topic and then we are going to cover the important articles from the newspaper. So let us quickly see the important articles that we are going to cover today. So these are list of those articles. Okay, so in all we are going to cover about 12 topics and one mapping topic. So now we are going to talk about a mapping topic. Name of this topic is Maldives. Okay, basically this Maldives is a very small island nation. Okay, this Maldives has been in news today, also it is in news. So let us see the location. Where is Maldives located? So as I said that Maldives is a, let's say, island nation in South Asia, and this is the smallest nation state in South Asia. Okay, it is the smallest nation state in South Asia. It has around 1192 islands as part of it. Okay, so where is Maldives located? Let us quickly see the location. So this is the location of Maldives, you can see. Okay, so this is the map of India. To the, let's say, like, you know, southwestern portion of India, we have Maldives. So India shares a maritime border with Maldives, right? And one important thing about Maldives is that, like, you know, equator passes through South Maldives. Okay, equator, which is a line that divides the earth into two major halves, the northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. So that equator line, this equator passes through, okay, this 0-degree line passes through Maldives over here. Okay, so this is the thing. And here, like, you know, this is the map of Asia, and here we have seen Maldives. However, if we see the map of Maldives, so this is the map of Maldives. In Maldives, there are, let's say, like, you know, small and little bigger islands as well. So there are many islands like this. And what is the capital of Maldives? The capital of Maldives is Male. Why it was in news? It was in news because recently there was a presidential election that was held in Maldives, and that presidential election was held peacefully, and a new president has been elected. So, like, you know, he will soon assume the power, right, in Maldives. And that person who was elected, right, who is elected in Maldives, he was earlier mayor of the Male city, which is the capital city of Maldives. Okay, so with this, now let us talk about the first topic. This topic is important. This topic says Supreme Court sets October 31 for hearing of electoral bonds case. Now this topic is very important, but before we understand about this topic, we need to understand what are electoral bonds. Okay, so here Supreme Court sets October 31 for hearing of electoral bonds case. So let me quickly write down the name of the topic as electoral bonds. Okay, because like the topic revolves around this core concept, which is electoral bonds. So what are electoral bonds? Electoral bonds are those bonds that are issued, right? These electoral bonds are issued by the which organization? I mean, like, you know, it is issued for the purpose of funding the political parties. Okay, for funding the political parties. So these electoral bonds, right, are bond papers. Okay, they are bond papers, and one can purchase these papers from designated branches of the State Bank of India. We can purchase these bonds from designated branches of the State Bank of India. Anyone can purchase. Anyone who has a, let's say, bank account, they can purchase it. It can be an individual, it can be an organization, it can be an NGO, it can be a corporate, it can be anyone, right? In India, they can purchase electoral bonds. So these electoral bonds are meant for funding political parties. Okay, political parties. So if you want to make donation to political parties, you can make donation to political parties through these electoral bonds, and these electoral bonds are in the denomination of 1,000 rupee or 10,000 rupee, right? Or let's say 1 lakh rupee, 1 lakh, 10 lakh and even a crore. Okay, so like it has various denomination, these bond papers. But what is the issue that we are going to talk about? In this article, basically, they have talked about that some people have filed cases in the Supreme Court of India against electoral bonds. Why against electoral bonds? Because this electoral bonds actually is an instrument for funding political parties, but the thing is who is funding the political parties is largely not known to the public. Why? Because because the law that was passed by the Union government in 2018, that law itself says that electoral bonds, one does not have to disclose his or her identity if they want to fund any political party. Okay, so that is the basic contention. So in this article, they have talked about what is the issue. So they say the legalization of anonymous donations to political parties and the violation of the citizens' rights to information about funding of political parties, promoting corruption. Okay, so these are the key concerns of people, right? So the two issues concern violation of articles 19, 14 and 21 of the Constitution. So to this particular petition, the Chief Justice of India has said that we are definitely going to hear the matter of electoral bonds. Okay, so they are going to hear the matter of electoral bond, and then they may take a decision. However, the Chief Justice of India said that if there is a tax deduction availed by the donor, then it electoral bonds scheme may be a money bill. So this particular electoral bond scheme has been introduced as a money bill in the parliament, and that it has been passed from the parliament. Okay, so once it is a money bill, so the Lok Sabha has greater say into it. Okay, so it is easily passed from the Lok Sabha. So this is the thing. Okay, so now the issue is the issue whether it is a money bill or not. So that is one part of the contention. Other part is the, let's say, anonymity associated with donation to political parties. Okay, who is donating, how much that person is donating is not known to let's say larger public at large, because it is only known to the banks. Okay, banks means who are doing the transaction, but they are debarred from sharing the personal data of the people who are donating to political parties. Okay, and although let's say some RTI applications have been filed, and those RTI applications have revealed that what number of electoral bonds has been issued, the number, how many papers have been printed by the State Bank of India in that regard. Okay, so that's the case. Now, having understood this, now let us try to solve two questions. One question is for the mains exam. It says, what are electoral bonds and how do they impact political funding and transparency in the context of electoral process? Okay, so you need to write an answer to this. You can read this article, you can also read some more things related to electoral bonds. Okay, so that's the thing. And also we have a prelims question. It says, what is the primary purpose of electoral bonds in the context of political funding? Okay, so we have been given 4 options. What is the primary purpose? To provide financial support to political parties, to facilitate anonymous donation to political parties, to ensure complete transparency in political donations, to fund electoral campaigns of individual candidates. B would be the right answer, to facilitate anonymous donations to the political parties. So we have to identify the most appropriate answer. Okay, other may also be correct to some extent, but we have to identify the most appropriate answer to this question. So having understood this, now let us move to another topic. Okay, so this topic says the Maldives, the evolution of a democracy. Okay, so as we already have seen the map of Maldives, so it's a small island nation, it's a small nation state in South Asia, and it has around 1192 let's say small islands as part of it. Recently an election was conducted in Maldives, and a new president has been elected. But if we talk about Maldives, right, in Maldives most of the people are Muslim. Okay, so so it's a, let's say, country that is dominated by Muslim people. So they earlier one of the president of Maldives was in support of Chinese policy, but now the upcoming president, right, whether he will be having a pro-Indian stance or pro-Chinese stance or anti-Indian stance or anti-Chinese stance, or like he is going to balance the interest of the country with respect to India and China. So we need to see about that thing. So in this article, the author has talked about that like in Maldives, right, since the election has started happening, right, 5 people have been elected as president, and none of the person has repeated so far. I mean, like, you know, every time an election has happened, a new person has been elected as the president. So it talks about the willingness of people in Maldives to participate in democratic exercise, to participate in voting process and elect a new person, because they believe, right, that a new person is going to come up with new ideas and he is going to take the country forward. Okay. So in this article, they have written names of many such, let's say, like, you know, all those like presidents of Maldives. For example, one of the president was Mamun Abdul Gayoom. Then we had Muhammad Nasheed, then Abdullah Yamin, then Ibrahim Muhammad Soli, and recently Muhammad Muizu. So he was, let's say, elected now as the president of Maldives. So in this article, they have talked about, and the outgoing president, actually he has faced difficult situations because of COVID-19 and also because of Ukraine-Russia problems. Because of Ukraine-Russia war, the, let's say, like, you know, things in the international market has, the prices have gone up. So like he faced difficulties. But in this article, they have talked about what is the path ahead for the upcoming president. So that has been written. So like, you know, they may follow this particular thing, which is India first policy. If the upcoming president also follows India first policy that was being followed by like one of their previous presidents, so in that case, so they will be pro-Indian, and so Indian government is going to have closer ties with Maldives. Otherwise, like, the time will say how it is going to happen. So now in this article, this person, he has been ambassador of India to Maldives, and he has been looking into that particular affair for Maldives. So he has written notes for New Delhi, means notes for India, what India can do. Okay. So India has already helped in, let's say, like, you know, small transport vehicles between different, let's say, islands. Okay. So small ships, ferries have been built by India. So India does have people to people tie. Okay. So people of Maldives, let's say, like, you know, they have natural tendency towards India. So the author is saying that India can leverage these positions. And in this article, they have talked about that India can consider some of the important things. What are the important things? That the Colombo Security Conclave, and this Colombo Security Conclave comprises of India, Sri Lanka, Maldives, Mauritius, Bangladesh and Seychelles. So these are the 6 countries that are part of Colombo Security Conclave. Okay, what are the names of countries? They are Sri Lanka, then we have India, Maldives, Mauritius, Bangladesh and Seychelles. Okay, so this is the thing. So these are the member nations of Colombo Security Conclave. So let me quickly write this name. Okay.
So what's the objective of Colombo Security Conclave?
So it's a shared security initiative. They want to protect the, let's say, maritime security of each other's territory, and also means like it is a kind of like these member countries want to secure their territory from any external influences. Okay, so it's a kind of dialogue between these countries. Okay, so the topic that we are understanding now is related to Maldives. The Maldives, the evolution of a democracy. Okay, the Maldives. The Maldives, the evolution of a democracy. So now we have talked about Colombo Security Conclave. Okay, Colombo Security Conclave. This Colombo Security Conclave has 6 member countries. One of the member country is Sri Lanka, then India, then we have Maldives, we have Seychelles, okay, we have Maldives, and then we have Mauritius, Bangladesh and Seychelles. Mauritius, Bangladesh, Seychelles. Okay, so these are the member countries of Colombo Security Conclave. In this article itself, the author has talked about that, like, India can leverage the BIMSTEC initiative. Okay, so there is a global grouping which is known as regional grouping, which is known as BIMSTEC. What is BIMSTEC? Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation. Okay, so this, its name is important, Bay of Bengal Initiative. Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation. Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation. So the author has said that, like, this, in this BIMSTEC summit that is going to happen in future, India may invite this Maldives as one of the observer parties. So if India invites, right, if India invites Maldives as one of the observer party, so in that case the tie between India and Maldives will get closer. Okay, so that will get closer. So that is what is said by the author. And author has also said that we can reimagine the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. Okay, we can reimagine the SAARC also. Okay, South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. So if we reimagine, means like we can think of including let's say, like, Maldives in greater ties, because Maldives is our, let's say, South Asian country over here. Okay, so that's the thing. So in your free time, what you can do is, like, you can go through the membership of each of these things, and also you can understand about their objectives. What is the objective of Colombo Security Conclave? So their membership I have written. You need to go through the membership of this thing, Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation, and also go through the membership of SAARC and see the present status of these organizations. So that will be beneficial. Although, like, this article is on India Maldives relation, it's related to GS paper 2. However, it is also important for prelims exam, because they have mentioned about some of these regional groupings. Now, having understood this, we have another topic. It says women want change, society needs change. Okay, so that's the thing. So let's talk about this topic quickly. Name of the topic is Women Want Change. Okay, women want change, society needs change. Society needs change. So let's understand about this topic. So basically, through this article, the author wants to highlight the let's say, like, the gender gap between men and women. The author wants to talk about the importance of having women in, let's say, like, political leadership. So in this article, the author has started with, let's say, a report that is released by World Economic Forum. It is known as Global Gender Gap Report. Okay, so so let's talk about this report. What is the name of the report? Name of the report is Global Gender Gap Report. This Global Gender Gap Report is published by World Economic Forum, okay, WEF. This is published by World Economic Forum. So the author has highlighted that according to this World Economic Forum data, right, data from 146 countries, it has concluded that the current rate of progress, right, of bridging the gender gap, it will take around 149 years, okay, it will take around 149 years to bridge what? To bridge the gender gap globally, okay, to bridge the gender gap globally. So what do we mean by gender gap? We need to understand. Gender gap means the parity, right? The difference in parity between men and women. For example, if we talk about workplace, so in workplace, how many men are there as compared to women? So generally the women are lesser in workplace as compared to men. And similarly, if we talk about political, let's say like scenarios, political institutions like the Parliament of India or state legislative assemblies in India, there also we have lesser proportion of women as compared to men. So that gender gap lies in Indian society, in Indian institutions, that also lies globally. So according to this global gender gap report, so it will take around 149 years for the world to bridge the gender gap that exists globally, okay. So it's going to take that much time. So after highlighting this particular topic, the author has talked about that like we need a fresh start, okay. We need a fresh start. Why we need a fresh start? We need a fresh start so that we can reimagine bridging the gender gap. And for that the author has discussed about 128th Constitutional Amendment Bill, okay. This is also known as Women's Reservation Bill. Women's Reservation Bill. Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam. हाँ, so it is Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam, like that. So through this bill, through this 128th Constitutional Amendment Bill, right, we have passed 106th Constitutional Amendment Act. And this act has, this bill has been passed by both the houses of the Lok Sabha, and it has been, let's say, assented by the President of India also, okay. So that's the thing. So author has said that India has taken a good initiative, and this initiative has been taken on the very first day of the inauguration of the new parliament building, the day when all the parties assembled in the new parliament building. On the same day they have introduced this particular bill. So it was a fresh start in that regard, and India can bridge the gender gap, right, much ahead than many other countries, provided that we have coordinated a step towards that, okay. So here they have talked about in leadership roles. So if we talk about women in leadership roles, right, so they have said that it is not only the men who are undermining the presence of women in the, let's say, leadership roles. It is even the women. Let's say there is one specific woman who is into a let's say big post. So she, even the women who is in leadership post, she does not raise voice for the rights of other women, for the cause of other women. Means those women who are already in leadership post, so they do not let's say give importance to having people from all walks of life, having women from all walks of life into similar leadership roles. So that has also existed as a barrier, okay. It has existed as a barrier for women's progress in this society, okay. So that's why the author has talked about that there have been many regressive views, and these regressive views have become hurdles also, and regressive views by some of the political leaders. For example, here they have talked about Mulayam Singh, Lalu Prasad Yadav, etc. Means we do not need to go into those views, but they have said that the regressive views are for maintaining the patriarchy in the society, maintaining the patriarchy even in some of the constitutional institutions like the Parliament of India. Okay, that's the thing. So the author says that the Women's Reservation Act is the first step towards enabling gender parity in India. Okay, so this Women's Reservation Bill that has been passed in the Parliament, it is the first step towards bridging the gender gap in India, towards bringing the parity in Indian society. Okay, so having understood this, now let us quickly understand another topic. So this topic says we need evidence-based traditional medicine. Okay, let's quickly understand about this. Name of the topic: we need evidence-based traditional medicine. Now let us understand about this. Basically in this article the author has talked about a specific case. Okay, so taking that case as context, the author has talked about that we need evidence-based traditional medicine. So what was the context? So there was a doctor, okay, there was a doctor, and that doctor was a, let's say, blogger as well. And that doctor has written something in the blog, I mean like he has promoted his blog, and because of which one specific company, okay, one pharmaceutical company has filed a case against this doctor, okay, has filed a case. Why? That company said that because of this doctor, like, you know, our products are not being sold in the market, means like, you know, like we are not able to make progress. So the author has not written the name of the doctor also, not written the name of the company as well. But the thing is, like, we need to understand what do we mean by traditional medicine. Okay, so when we talk about traditional medicine, so traditional medicine has various branches as part of it. So in India we consider, let's now understand about traditional medicine. So traditional medicine has, let's say, like, you know, the Ayush system of medicine in India. Okay, Ayush system is considered to be a traditional system of medicine, and Ayush has various sub branches in it. For example, one of the branches Ayurveda, then we have Unani, then we have Siddha, then we have homeopathy. Okay, Siddha, homeopathy, and then yoga, then naturopathy, etc. So these are names of some traditional systems of medicine. So these traditional systems of medicine, I mean like these systems have been practiced by people from time immemorial. However, these systems does have a procedure. People follow some procedure to treat patients using these systems. However, these systems do not have evidence of, let's say, therapeutic effect. So because of lack of evidence, people raise questions about the efficacy of traditional system of medicines. And if we talk about the other system of medicine, which is known as allopathy, okay, generally people call it to be allopathy. However, allopathy has a different meaning. A person who has invented this name, who has given this name, so he talked about allopathy to, let's say, like, you know, oppose Ayurveda, I think. Okay, to oppose yeah, means like, you know, this is opposed to that particular system, but the thing is, like, this person has not given the
symptom.
Yeah,
Opposed symptom.
right. So that's the thing. So over here, like, the author has talked about that allopathic system of medicine. This allopathic system of medicine which is being followed, so it is evidence based. Why? Because, like, people are doing huge amount of research into it, and like, and they have led to, let's say, development of many scientific methods for treatment. For example, if someone has a kidney failure, okay, if someone has a kidney failure issue, so for that there is a system of, which system? Kidney failure. So dialysis method is there, right? And also heart ailments, so like heart related surgeries have been made available through this allopathic system. So the author is saying that we need evidence based traditional medicine system, and for that the government of India should take proper step from time to time, so that these traditional medicine system, they also become evidence based. Because there have been earlier articles also, they have criticized this traditional medicine system. They said there is no proper recorded let's say research paper on these things, okay, because of lack of research papers, so their therapeutic effect are being questioned, okay. So this is the thing. So basically in this article the author says that a few individuals do a disservice to the cause of evidence based medicine by denouncing traditional medical system wholesale. Means by denouncing the traditional medicine system in wholesale, means like totally nullifying this particular thing, okay. So this is the thing. Now
What is the basic difference between Unani, Ayurveda and Siddha?
Unani, Ayurveda, Siddha, basically see, like Unani system of medicine, it's a foreign system of medicine. If I talk about Ayurveda, so this has developed, Ayurveda has developed, let's say, in Indian subcontinent, right? Unani system has been developed somewhere else. All these systems are different from one another on the way, on the philosophy, and also how they treat the patients. I know little detail about naturopathy, right? Naturopathy, what happens in naturopathy is that, let's say if you have some ailments, so they will do mud bath. Mud bath means you will be made to theek hai ab mud se naha lo. Then you may be, let's say, tied inside a blanket, so that the pasina comes from the body, okay, you start perspiring. So these are, they are using natural let's say healing methods for treatment of patients. So that is naturopathy. Yoga we know, right? Then homeopathy, in homeopathy basically they have similar kind of pills for all the ailments that you have. I mean, like white color pills. You have anything, they will give you the rounded white tablet.
They are also very tasty.
Huh?
They are generally tasty when compared to allopathic medicines.
Huh. So this is the thing. And Siddha, Unani, Ayurveda, I mean, like they are different from one another, since we are not doctors, so we don't know much detail about them, but they follow different procedures. They have a different, let's say method of healing of patients. They are effective. It's not the case that they are not effective. They are effective, but every of these things follow a different method. And this Siddha, Siddha is not totally Indian system. It is somewhere Tibetan system that we have adopted, right? So Tibetan system of healing. I mean, we जो ball लगाते हैं पीठ में, so that kind of thing, acupuncture, acupressure kind of thing. So it's associated with Siddha.
And so Unani is from Greece.
हाँ हाँ यूनान, तो मतलब they have a different system. Maybe they might be using what we say अलग अलग type के मसाले, maybe so they follow different things. हाँ
Unani has a bad taste.
Very
bad, sir.
Okay. So that's the thing. Now, having understood this, now let us understand about another topic. It says 2023 on course to be the warmest year on record. So in this article they have given, let's say, various data points, they have given charts, and these charts show that this 2023 year is going to be the warmest year on record. How it is going to be warmest year? Because this 2023, at this point of time, we are 1.4 degrees centigrade above pre-industrial level, okay, means the global temperature rise, okay, global temperature increase, right, has increased to 1.4 degrees centigrade above pre-industrial level. And if we talk about the conference of parties, okay, which is COP, right, conference of parties happen related to United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. So UNFCCC conducts this conference of parties, right, every year, and then like the next conference of parties is going to happen, COP28 is going to happen. So by the time COP28 will happen, we are already on 1.4 degree above pre-industrial level. However, different countries in 2015, like the parties to the UNFCCC has agreed to something which is known as Paris Agreement. Okay, so we have agreed to Paris Agreement, and one of the contention of Paris Agreement is like we will try to reduce the global, let's say like global temperature rise to 1.5 degree above the pre-industrial level, means like we will keep it at this limit. But the thing is like if it is not possible, so like they have said that at most by 2 degrees centigrade by the end of this century. So that was the target. However, we are already over here. So in this article they have, let's say, traced that like from 1940s till now how the temperature rise has happened. So they have given different, let's say, data points over here. They have given different figures that in September 1940 and September 2023 how the temperature has gone. Okay, so this is the thing. If we talk about, this is pre-industrial level. So in September 1940, so at that point of time the temperature was well below the pre-industrial level, and after then now it has gone up. I mean like how the temperature changes has happened over the years. So this has been mentioned in different graphs. You can go through these graphs to understand how the temperature has increased. But the thing is, this is just for our understanding that this year 2023 may be the warmest year on record in the world, right? So this is, I mean like this is going to be a tough thing. I mean like we have also seen the what we say, the electricity cost of the month of August was very high. Yeah, so it was like the warmest month like of in the last 30 years, August, if we compare the August month every year. That's the thing. Now we have another topic. This topic is very good. Okay, it says the impact of Claudia Goldin's work. So this lady, Claudia Goldin, she has received, we can say, we can equate this to Nobel Prize in Economics. Okay, although this is not known as Nobel Prize. This economics Nobel Prize is not known as Nobel Prize. All others are known as Nobel Prize, because in economic sciences generally like based on research work they are giving this particular prize. But for physics, chemistry, medicine, they should have experimental basis on this. I mean like they are known as Nobel Prize because they are experimentally backed. But if we talk about the Nobel Prize in Economics, it is not Nobel Prize, it is known as Swaraj's Prize, right? It is known as Swaraj's Riksbank Prize in Economic Sciences. Okay, so this is also given by the same academy, which is Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences. Same institution gives the Nobel Prize, same institution gives this Swaraj's Riksbank Prize in Economic Sciences. Okay, so for economic sciences they do not see the experimentally to demonstrate. However, you should have sound research papers, which is well accepted. So this person, Claudia Goldin, has done her work related to gender gap at workplace. So her work analyzed like why there has been a gender gap, and for that she has talked about a U-shaped curve. This is the U-shaped curve that we can see. This curve has showcased that like participation of women in the work. For example, if we talk about pre-industrial time, or like in the first few years of 19th century, that time women were involved in agricultural practice. But as industrialization has happened, their participation in industry has gone down. Why? Because she could either support the household or she could, let's say, work in industry. So for most part of like after her marriage, she used to be at home. But once the childs were, let's say, like raised little, like once they became little older, she started participating in the work again. So the participation of women when industries were developed was less. Okay, but if we talk about the service society, when the service sector increased, again we have seen more participation of women in the industry. Her entire work depends on the US, history of US. In the United States of America, she has done 200 years of study about participation of women in the industry. What factors led to, let's say, more participation or less participation of women in the workforce. So she has talked about many things. She has said that like if women are not participating in the workforce, so it's a compromise that she has made to her career in favor of, let's say, like her family. But at the same time, when men are working, he is also making a compromise. He is doing the work, right? But the thing is like he is compromising on the family time. That's the thing. So both are compromising, and that has been the structure. And here in this article, she has also talked about the role of contraceptive pills. Okay, means like since contraceptive pills came, women started participating little more because so she could plan, let's say, her baby, like when she wanted to be, bear a baby or not. So in this article, they have mentioned all of it. So basically, her work revolves around gender parity at work. Okay, gender parity at work. She has talked about multiple factors. So they have said Professor Goldin, trawled through the archives of about 200 years of, let's say, United States to demonstrate how and why gender differences in earnings and employment rates have changed over time. Okay, so whatever she has done, it is from the data of United States of America, which is considered to be the biggest democracy in the world. I mean, that's that way. So she has been awarded Nobel, this Swaraj's prizes in economics. This is not known as Nobel Prize. It is important. It is known as Swaraj's prize, Swaraj's Risk Bank Prize in Economic Sciences 2023. It is similar to Nobel Prize. Why? Because it is given by the same institute, which is known as Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences. So having understood this, now let us talk about another topic. First test flight of Gaganyaan mission scheduled on October 2021. Now we need to understand what is Gaganyaan mission. Okay, so quickly we'll understand about this. I'm just writing it as Gaganyaan mission. Gaganyaan means space flight mission. Okay, it means space flight mission. Okay, space flight mission. So this Gaganyaan mission is going to be a human space flight mission. Okay, it's going to be a human space flight mission. So we are going to send human beings, right, on the space. For example, if this is the Earth, right, if this is the Earth, we are going to send astronauts, we are going to send people, right, in an orbit which is known as low Earth orbit. Okay, low Earth orbit. So this orbit is around 400 kilometer, right? It is 400 kilometer above the surface of the Earth. Okay, it will be at a height of 400 kilometer. So all those orbits, low Earth orbit means if the orbit height is less than or equal to 2000 kilometer. This is known as low Earth orbit. But for this Gaganyaan mission, we are going to send the Gaganyaan, right, in this particular orbit, which is 400 kilometer, right? So here we are going to send human being. They are going to stay there for some time and they are going to come back. Okay. So sending human being requires, right, those spacecrafts that are human rated. Spacecrafts, okay, so like this requires what? This requires spacecrafts that are human rated. What do we mean by human rated? Means it should be habitable, that inside that spacecraft human beings should be able to survive. I mean, like it should be habitable for human being. That's the thing. Second thing is like, since we are sending human beings, if something happens, let's say during the launch or after the launch, so there should be facility for crew people to escape, okay. So this Gaganyaan mission also has a thing which is known as crew escape module, okay. It has a module which is known as crew escape module. What is this crew escape module? So the thing is, let's say like, this is the spacecraft. That we are sending. This spacecraft looks like this, I mean like, it looks like this. So this is spacecraft we will be sending, right? So this has, let's say, a crew module, and then it has crew escape module also. So to allow the people to escape from here, let's say like, some mishappenings happen. So in that case, they are doing some kind of test which is known as pad abort test, okay. Means before they actually send human beings, they are going to send, let's say, only the rocket over there, a similar rocket where they are going to do the testing. If it becomes, they are first going to have an unmanned, okay, they are going to have an unmanned mission. And if once this unmanned mission becomes successful, only then they will be having manned mission, okay, they will be having manned mission. Manned means then they are going to send the human being. So in this article they have talked about one particular test that they are going to conduct. It is known as test vehicle abort mission, okay, this mission, I mean like, test vehicle abort mission. Test vehicle abort mission. So they have given a name also, TVD1, okay, they have given a name TVD1 to this test vehicle abort mission, has been given a name TVD1. So they are going to conduct this particular thing, like whether the test vehicle will be able to abort, will be able to come out of this module that they are doing. And then they have crew escape system. Instead of module, write down this system, okay, crew escape system. So using this, the crew, I mean like human beings who are part of this particular module, they will be able to escape from here. So they are going to launch, and after launching, let's say it's going to fall back on Arabian Sea, okay, it's going to fall back, and from there the Indian Navy is going to rescue this particular module, okay. So Indian Navy personals are also let's say doing testing, they are also, let's say, doing mock drills, right, to let's say capture this particular module once it falls back on the Indian Ocean. So that is they are doing. So in this article they have also mentioned about one robot. This is known as Vyom Mitra robot, okay. So this is known as Vyom Mitra robot. So what is Vyom Mitra robot? So it's a kind of humanoid robot. It is known as humanoid robot. Means like it looks like human, means like in look wise it looks like human, and it is able to speak also. So that's the thing. So while testing they are going to send the Vyom Mitra robot, and if this Vyom Mitra robot is able to go, and if it is able to achieve the targets of the mission, only after then they are going to send the human beings, okay. So like initially they are going to do module wise testing of each module. Once they become successful, then they are going to launch the actual Gaganyaan mission, which is human space flight mission. This is the first human space flight mission of ISRO, and this mission is being conducted by Indian Space Research Organization, okay, ISRO. This is the thing. So is it understood, this topic? It's a science and tech really. Huh?
Sir, how they will come back? The human beings
How they will come back?
after doing the mission?
So basically, I mean like initially human beings, let's say while launching we need a launch vehicle, they will be launched, they'll be over here, right? I mean like they will be revolving in this particular orbit,
Yes.
and then in this particular module that they are going to go, it will be like a spaceship right? So in this module they will be having motors also, engines also. They will slowly and gradually try to, let's say, like, do maneuvering. Maneuvering means they are going to change the path so that they start falling back into the earth's surface. Basically they are under the influence of earth's gravity. Okay, so if they do that particular maneuvering, so there will be a time when they will start falling towards the earth, and they are going to fall somewhere near in the Arabian Sea region, Arabian Sea. Okay, so that's the thing. So it's interesting, yeah. So now we have another topic. It says Tele Manas Seva has counselled 3.5 lakh people. It has been said by the Health Minister, okay, Union Health Minister, Mandaviya. So what is Tele Manas? It's a kind of counseling call centers of the government of India. So like Tele Manas centers, right? There are centers in various states and there are centers in the union territories, okay, these Tele Manas centers. And if people are in psychological distress, they can make a call to this Tele Manas center, and there will be people who are going to attend to those calls. They are going to interact with the people, they are going to support those people, right, related to any kind of distress that they are facing. So that is, I mean, like, for the mental health related thing. Actually yesterday it was the mental health day, okay, the World Mental Health Day. 10th of October was World Mental Health Day. Okay, 10th of October was World Mental Health Day. So that's the thing. So what was the theme of the World Mental Health Day? Anyone who knows?
This year,
Yeah, this year.
sir, not only the physical.
So that is, mental health is a universal human right. Theme was mental health is a universal human right. Mental health is a universal human right. So this was the theme of the World Mental Health Day. So it was 10th of October. So on that day there have been, let's say, some interaction with the health minister, and health minister has said that these Tele Manas Seva, they have counselled more than 3.5 lakh people overall in India. They have different centers in various state governments, various states and union territories, and like, they have talked about that this Ayushman Bharat Health and Wellness Centers have facilitated integration of mental health services with primary health services as priority services for mental health. Okay, so they have talked about Ayushman Bharat mission also. So this Tele Manas is a good topic. I mean, like, we have asked question on this, like in our 400 dreams papers that we have conducted earlier. Now this is another topic. It says mental health centers are time worn, says National Human Rights Commission. Okay, so mental health centers, so the post mental health establishment around the country are time worn, and therefore it is necessary that they will be restructured as per the contemporary requirements of technology, amenities and services. The National Human Rights Commission has said on October 10. Okay, means like it is related to National Health Day. So that's why these two articles came. So they talk about that mental health should be treated at par with physical health. Why? Because mental health is also important, and recently I think in 2017 the government of India has released some kind of notification where, like, the insurance companies, these insurance companies, like, they insure the physical health, they should also insure mental health. So there was a guideline, okay, by I think IRDAI, Insurance Regulatory Development Authority of India, like that. Okay, so that was the thing. Now we have another topic. It says, what is Hamas, the Palestinian militant group? So this Hamas thing was in news. I mean, like, they have launched an operation. This is known as Operation Al-Aqsa Flood. Okay, name of the operation was Al-Aqsa Flood. Al-Aqsa Flood. So they have launched this operation recently, and under this operation they have killed around 900 Israelis. Okay, they have launched huge number of missiles on Israeli territory. So this has been launched by the Hamas group, and this has been one of the deadliest attack by the Hamas group on Israel. But like, what is Hamas? Why they are doing so? Hamas is one of the, let's say, like one of the militant, or I would say, like, one of the, let's say, here they have mentioned about armed group, one of the armed group of Palestinian, okay, of Palestine. So this Hamas group says that we will recapture all the territories that have been captured from Israel, from Palestine by Israel. We want all the territories back. We don't recognize Israel. And they say, the Hamas group says that, like, that Israel never existed and it should never exist. Okay, so they say, like, we will not go for any kind of peace deal. We will not go for any kind of negotiation. We don't want a two-state solution. What do we mean by two-state solution? Two-state solution means if Israel gives back some of the territories to Hamas, so Hamas, or like, Palestine, so Palestine can create a state for itself. Israel can stay alongside, Palestine can stay alongside, so that will create two states. And in return, the Palestine should declare a kind of peace treaty where they should say ki like, now they are in a state of peace with Israel. But this Hamas group says, right, in its manifesto, they say that, like, the peace deal is a kind of very, what we say, cold-blooded thing that we don't want to do. We want, like, entire Israel to be part of Palestine. Okay, so Palestine and Israel are fighting for the same territory. They want Jerusalem to be their capital. I mean, like, Palestine wants Jerusalem to be its capital. Israel wants Jerusalem to be its capital. Presently, Tel Aviv is the capital of Israel. Okay, that's the thing. And historically, Jerusalem has been the capital, but they have shifted the capital because of the fighting between, let's say, Palestine and Israel. So in this article, they have talked about the history of this thing. There is an organization, this is known as Palestine Liberation Organization. This Palestine Liberation Organization was established in 1964. And then it has led to, let's say, creation of Hamas group. And Hamas group is, let's say, one of the deadliest organization. So they want to reclaim the territory that they had earlier with them. Okay, that's the thing. And they don't want to compromise on anything.
So what is the international status of Palestine? Is it recognized or not?
Internationally, Palestine as of now is not a state. I mean, like, it's not a state because they did not declare themselves to be a separate state. But in 19th and 20th century, Palestine was a part of Ottoman Empire. And at that point of time, the Jews started settling in Palestine as refugees. Slowly and gradually, when they settled, so they started claiming territories for themselves. And they have captured one territory, another territory. Then, like, there was a fight also between Israel and Egypt and Syria. But the thing is, Israel was supported by USA, and that's why Israel was able to capture territories of, let's say, like, Syria, territories of Egypt as well. It has captured territories of many countries, and now it has become a bigger state. Okay, but the thing is, like, the Palestinian people, they don't want to, let's say, like, compromise on that front. So the war fighting is happening. So this is the map of Israel, we can see. Okay, the white color shows the map of Israel, and the thing is, if we see this Gaza Strip, this is also known as West Bank territory. Okay, this is Gaza Strip, and this is part of West Bank. So this is, like, these yellow regions, they are under the occupation of Palestinian people. But the thing is, like, they have recently launched attack from this Gaza Strip, from here, on Israel. But Israel is, let's say, like, have like recently notified that they are in a state of war with Hamas, like that, or with Palestine. So this is the thing, you need to go through this map. Yesterday I have discussed about this Haifa. Haifa has been in news. Haifa is a port, right, in Israel. It has been in news, and Haifa is a port in the Mediterranean Sea. It is important, right? And this is the map of Middle East.
One doubt, what is the present status of West Bank? Who is controlling the West Bank?
This West Bank, I mean, like, West Bank is a kind of, what we say, It is not totally under the control of Israel, right? But in West Bank, I think it is Palestinian people who are controlling. Palestinian, West Bank and Gaza Strip. So they are separated. But the thing is like Israel has captured their territory. 2 days back I have showed the map of Israel. Before 1947, the entire territory was Palestine. But in 1947, there was a war in 1973, which was known as Yom Kippur War, or it was known as October War. So that was 19 days war. In that warfare also, Israel has captured a huge amount of territory. On 6th of October 1973. But now the Hamas group has launched huge amount of missiles on 6th of October 2023, after 50 years. Okay, after 50 years, they have launched huge amount of artillery. That's the thing. Huh?
Golden.
Yeah. So that they have
So
done.
before that, Israel doesn't exist.
Israeli people, they were Jewish people. So they
Yes,
have
I know
came
that
as
Germany
Germany wala. So that was during the World War. World War II. But before that also, it was Palestine. Okay, that region was Palestine. That's the thing.
The religion originated from this.
Jerusalem.
So
Yeah.
after the persecution, they decided we'll go back to the
To
place of our religion.
yes.
So sir, the religion is Judaism, right?
It is Jewish Judaism. Yeah. This is known as Zionism. Basically, they follow something known as Zionism. ऐसा Zionist बोलते हैं, Zionism. So this is the thing. They wear a skull cap. They go to, let's say, mosque. It's known synagogue. Okay. So this, I think this. This is how they, this is their prayer hall, synagogue. So they have different name for it. They wear a skull cap, very small, yes. Jewish people, like that. So we have another topic. It says IMF raises India's financial year 24 GDP growth forecast to 6.3%. So International Monetary Fund is let's say international financial institution, we would say. So it has released World Economic Outlook. Okay, it has released World Economic Outlook. This World Economic Outlook is released by International Monetary Fund. This is the most important information for us in this article. So they have raised India's GDP forecast to 6.3%, and earlier they have, let's say, forecasted it to be 6.1%. So this shows a positive sentiment that Indian economy is going to grow at a faster rate now. Okay, so this fund's upward revision forecast reflects stronger than expected consumption during April to June. IMF sees current account deficit remaining at 1.8% of the GDP. Okay, then lender retains its forecast for global GDP growth in 2023 at 3%. Okay, so global GDP is growing at a 3% rate, but for financial year 2024 for India it will be 6.3%. This is what is said by the International Monetary Fund. So the most important information is World Economic Outlook. It is released by International Monetary Fund. So this is important for us to remember. Then we have another topic. It says state-owned NBFCs put under PCA norms. NBFCs means non-banking financial company. So there are non-banking banking financial companies that are under the government. Means like governmental non-banking financial company. These are known as state-owned NBFC. Then there are private NBFCs also. Some NBFCs are regulated by the RBI. Others are not under the purview of regulation also. So those NBFCs that are state owned, for some of those NBFCs, the Reserve Bank of India has now released a norms for them. They have put those NBFCs under the purview of prompt corrective action. So prompt corrective action are a kind of framework action for these NBFCs. So the RBI can put scheduled commercial banks or other banks also into this prompt corrective action. Means if these banks are doing some of the things that are, let's say, not in line with the RBI's guidelines. So in that case, to give a stricter regulation. So this prompt corrective action is there for RBI. Like RBI puts banks under these actions.
So basically,
And in this what happens?
so basically the objective is to reduce the bad debts and
Haan.
NPA.
Right. And for that I think like they start regulating that particular bank through its own appointed people into the, let's say, head management level,
Yes.
into the top management level. So that's the thing. Okay, so like I mean like, so people, directors,
CBD,
Uh,
Central Board of Directors.
yeah, central board of directors, so they're replaced by the, I mean like by the RBI appointed people. So that's the thing. So this is the thing, I mean like some of the major government non-banking financial companies include PFC, REC, IRFC and IFCI. So that's the thing. So we just needed to understand what are prompt corrective action. Okay, so that's all for the day. Thank you so much everyone for attending today's session. I hope you have a good day ahead. Thank you.